Greetings all. Welcome to the latest episode of Overrated, and we've returned to Canada to discuss a few more female musicians. We are discussing Grimes, and we're trying really hard to talk about her music and not what she's perhaps most famous for. We do our best. There is a 10-track playlist. And for the underrated artist, I have picked Peaches because I really like her. I think she should have more listeners, should be known for more. And you will see my brain fog in action where I keep forgetting the name of the song that Peaches did with Iggy Pop, which I had to look up afterwards. Of course, it's Kick It. So excuse the brain fog. I'm 38 years old. The perimenopause is not far away. So I think we're just going to have to deal with it. Perimenopause aside, enjoy this episode and see you at the end.
Welcome to the Over Underrated podcast with Fran and Babs. Is it over or underrated?
Welcome to the latest Over Underrated episode. I am Babs and I'm here with my co-host
Fran from England. I don't know why I mentioned where I'm from. That happened.
All right, reform.
I know I'm struggling having to do an international podcast at the moment, but
it's so difficult
it's what it
for
is.
foreigners, isn't it? Like, ugh. And we're in a foreign country as well today. Oh my god, it's an English-speaking one, right? So, well, apart from being very patriotic, Fran, what music have you been listening to recently?
Oh golly gosh, I have been listening to Florence and the Machine new album.
What's it like?
I would say it's surprisingly very good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it's better than I imagined because I'm getting to the end of the year. I'm thinking I've got too much saved. I can't afford to have any more albums, guys, because I need to do my best of soon. So no more music.
I was gonna say, this is the 21st century dilemma. Yeah.
I was like, oh, nice. It's a good album. I have to give it my time. So yeah, Florence and the Machine, and I've been listening regarding my best of the year. I'm now down to 75 songs on my playlist.
I haven't started mine yet.
So I had 150 last week. Basically 150 what I've liked over the year. But I've kept, and I've now gone on to 75. So let's hope there's nothing good in the next month. But what have you been listening to?
What I've been listening to, I've obviously been listening to the new Lily Allen album. I saw the discourse kind of almost immediately. So where was I? I think, it came out, I think, on a Friday. On a Sunday, I was in Antwerp at a friend's place. And then I saw the discourse and I was like, right, I'm just going to listen to it on the way back. And I was like, wow, this is like a really interesting concept album. Very raw, very good. And, musically very good, lyrically very good. I'm very pleasantly surprised. Like, I've only listened to it twice through, and there are definitely like some songs better than others. But I'm enjoying all the discourse and all the stuff. Have you listened to that one yet?
Yeah, I listened to it, but obviously, I'm not particularly big fan of Lily Allen, like a couple of songs. I thought it was all right. But my question is, I haven't really dig deep. Like, obviously, a couple of years ago, she said that she earns more money from OnlyFans and music, and she wasn't going to do an album. Do you know, was she planning on making an album anyway, and then she used this?
I don't know.
I don't know. Did this burned her to make a? Okay.
I think the little I've seen is I think she felt compelled to kind of get the pain out. And I know, I didn't listen to the podcast she did with Makita Oliver, but I would see clips of it every now and again. And now I think it's Makita and Jordan Stevens because Lily was busy doing something, and I think that something was the album. But yeah, no, I'm really, I don't think it's an album that I'm going to be listening to that much in my house, but I did enjoy listening to it twice, and I think there's some songs that I will save. So yeah, a lot of Lily Allen. I saw Wet Leg last week.
Oh, cool.
Who were good. I think I did realize, for me, they are a bit more of a singles band. Like, I really, the songs of theirs that I loved, I really enjoyed. But for the rest, I was like, okay, this is good, but not so much for me. But I have to shout out that they were supported by Luxembourgish sort of band, Faux Real, who I met up with afterwards, who were amazing. They got the Belgian crowd going. They even did their last song. They got off the stage and did it in the middle of the crowd. And made everyone switch their phone lights on, which was really impressive. So of course I met them afterwards, and I bought the T-shirt to support. And I think I've talked about them before.
What language they're singing? I can't remember.
English.
Ah, okay.
But they went to my school in Luxembourg. They're half French, half American, so they speak English and French fluently, and they spoke both during the concert, which was quite fun to see a band switch between the two. And yeah, it's just funny to see like two people who I kind of know uh, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And yeah, they like I think I said before, wet leg remix one of their songs. And then the final one, I'll say it's such a random one sometimes for why you get into music. So bear with me. I think Fran will enjoy this. I don't know if listeners will. Right. So you know the comedian Alexandra Haddo.
I saw her in Edinburgh.
I would love to see her. She seems right up my street. I follow her on Instagram, and she went to Lisbon. And when she went to
Mm.
Lisbon, she took a picture of this mu Portuguese musician called Samuel Uria, and she was like, "Phil Ellis, your doppelganger is here in Lisbon." And I was like, "Oh yeah, like he really does look a lot like Phil Ellis." I even messaged her saying like he's actually a very cool indie musician. And I've randomly saw him live one of the last times I went to Lisbon because I went to
Mm.
the Time Out Market, which is this quite kind of touristy place. And it was around Christmas time, and this indie radio station in Lisbon called Radar were doing their countdown of the albums of the year. And his album was one of the albums of the year, and he played a few songs from it, like in the middle of the kind of the chaos and the food. And I was like, oh, this sounds pretty good, but like, I'll have to, I'll check it out at some point. And so that whole thing with Alexander Hanna made me check him out. And God, that album is really good. So I've been listening to that, especially a song called Eradoro, which I'll put on the playlist. But yeah, it's just so funny how it's like that's how that reactivated in my mind from Alexandra Hannah being like, hey, this guy looks like Phil Ellis. So today's theme. I had thought that Grimes was an interesting pick for overrated. So we made the
Mm.
theme Canada. So we could pick Grimes as overrated and Peaches as underrated. Shall I tell you, Fran, why I thought Grimes would be an
Yes,
interesting
please.
person? Okay. I think I've said before about Charlie XCX that Charlie XCX is like my favorite artist whose songs I don't all like. And Grimes
Mm.
for me is very similar in that respect. Like she's someone who I remember in the early 2010s reading about her before I heard her music or like was into her music. And I was like, I feel like she's a Tumblr person. And it turns out, yes, she is. And
Mm.
like was
Mm.
posting on there, which is a part of the internet I really know nothing about. Like, were you ever on Tumblr?
No,
No.
I listened to an American podcast about Grimes, and they were all in their late 20s, early 30s, and they seem to be all over it. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm probably too old for the Tumblr.
It's so funny, isn't it? Like how just a few years and you can be out of it. And I think yeah, one of the main things that I remember was her being quite an outspoken feminist because she had this thing of like I'm always gonna, I always want to produce my own albums because with women, like they always say that, if you hire an engineer or producer, it's like their work and not your work, blah blah blah. Which is why, and then I got into her in like, and I'll tell you through the place, kind of mid 2010s. But that's why it was so wild to me when she started dating Elon Musk because like he wasn't as much of an evil villain as we know him to be now, but there were already
Mm.
signs. I think I'd read this article about from written by his ex-wife about him, and I was like, oh, he seems like one of those like, yes, I love strong women, and then like not at all. And it's like David Harbour. So, and I just remember seeing that picture of Grimes and Musk at the Met Gala where she's wearing a Tesla choker, and I was like, you are literally wearing the symbol of the company of money. Like the man is owning you. What the hell's going on? And yeah, I'm not going to get into like everything personal to go with Grimes because other podcasts have done that. And yeah, definitely Matt XIV's podcast I would recommend. I also saw a video of a YouTuber I hadn't heard of called Chronically Online Girl because I was like, oh, Matt XIV's, I've listened to it before and it's quite long, whereas the Chronically Online Girl was half an hour. So that was a good refresh as well on like the whole story.
I've watched two YouTube one podcast goes on for 2.5 hours with someone called Lex somebody maybe. I think
I
it's
don't
quite
know them.
a big one. 'Cause and then I watched one of the Times. This was about February this year, where
Mm-mm.
she mentions that there's going to be a population decline happening in the
Oh
future,
God.
but then skips over it. It's like it's quite a big thing to come out with. Yeah, but I need to. Yeah, I'll find the podcast. But what I will say about Grimes is there's not a lot of podcasts about her music. It is about everything
Really?
else. I will say that like as someone
Yeah.
who's doing a listen to the music, it's all about her upbringing, her personality, her views. There's very little on like what me like
Yeah.
who's she into, what her influences, that sort of
Well,
stuff.
this is what's interesting on YouTube comments because I saw in a lot of the videos where it was like, oh, can we just talk about music? And actually, a lot of YouTube comments would be about the music, and that's it. Like that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it because she was someone who I got into kind of before the controversy, and I'm like, oh, but sometimes there are celebrities where like something that has nothing to do with their music becomes the main thing. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, she should be because her views are kind of terrible. Like I think the two things. Well, firstly, I have to mention the Azalea Banks thing. Do you know about this, Azalea
Yeah,
Banks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a guy called Face Tap Philosophy, and he
Mm.
has a two-part documentary, and it is so deep. He has
Yes.
15 minutes just on the album covers alone, and because I think she designs album covers and what it
Yeah.
all means. And I kept going and skip and skip
This
and
is the
skip.
problem. Like, this is why I don't want to go down this YouTube rabbit hole because it's like, I would be into that for some people, right? Like, then you get lost. But yeah, the Azalea Bank things, I had to remind myself because I feel like I remember watching it live where it's like everyone like, look at Azalea Bank's stories. She says she's being almost held hostage at Elon Musk's house because she's waiting for Grimes to come over and she isn't and he isn't there, and that caused this whole thing. But yeah, I was looking at some of the things she said recently. She literally tweeted, "I'm called a Nazi because I happily am proud of white culture." She added that she wished to emphasize the incredible accomplishments of others whilst allowing prideful white people accomplishments as well. And she attended the wedding of a far-right blogger called Curtis Yarvin, who, by the way, has defended slavery and argued that white people have inherently higher IQs, etc. And she attended a party with him in 2025 to celebrate the second inauguration of Donald Trump. So for me, I'm like, that is beyond like, there are some people where it's just like you just seem like actually like a privileged idiot, being like, oh, I can just say all this stuff, but it's like here you're really like, going into the far right ideology. And I think, I mean, I was trying to uncover. I'm not on Twitter anymore, so you can't see tweets. But I remember her a while ago tweeting something like, "Oh, this elite program of reconfigure like some bullshit, some of the usual reprogramming, blah blah blah." And I was like, I think she is someone who like is actually kind of in the video I saw from Chronically Online Girl, she kept saying that like Grimes loves to cosplay as a poor person because she like it actually comes from a kind of privileged background, but at one point
Mm.
was living in a crap den in Montreal that had no heating. She got frostbite twice, and her neighbor was bludgeoned to death. And the person kept being like, but she didn't have to do this. Like she didn't have to. So it's like she's done that, but now is like in the elite, and I think loving it. I don't. It's really really weird to read her personality, but I would say she I think her music is super super interesting. I would put her on a similar level to someone I guess like Bjork, where it's like you're making out there electronic music. I didn't send it to you actually because I don't know if you had time, but there's a KEXP performance from her in 2012 where it's
Mm.
just kind of her with the keyboards, and it's definitely like a video I would send to anyone who say like, oh, synths aren't real instruments or keyboards aren't real instruments. It's so impressive to see her live, doing everything. And I think a lot of her music, it sounds very ethereal and la-di-da, which isn't so much my thing, but not all of it does. And I think there's a lot of interesting music. Anyway, very long introduction. What are your thoughts on Grimes?
So the documentary I saw, he did actually have a good point actually, is that when she got big in 2012,
Mm,
it was still the Obama years,
hmm.
and woke was big, and people were coming out on YouTube and being applauded. So is that why she had things like, I don't know, anti-imperialism and
Yeah, that was
communist
so funny.
and LGBT stuff, and
Yeah.
then now it's switched a little bit, and the right's big.
Mhm.
Suddenly, she's now either being her true self or jumping to the next bandwagon, and that's
Mm.
what he thinks. He thinks that the early Grimes was is a whole different world it was 12 years ago, and you had to be
It's a good point.
going down that route to be popular. So he thinks either this is the true colours and obviously she's a rich young person, or she's just trying to find the next big audience she can get for her music. So
I think it's I'm always a fan, not a fan, but I think a lot of people have been brainwashed by certain parts of the internet, right? Like with Elon Musk, you could almost see it in real time because actually what Grimes and Elon Musk have in common is that they both used to be quite environmentalists. People
mm,
like Grimes, I didn't even know this. Chronically Online Girl, she took this whole thing of like she thought about not even touring maybe because of the carbon impact. Like in her rider, she'd always request like locally sourced food. She was a vegan, yada yada. And then the video made the point of like she made $6 million from NFTs, which are like really environmentally. So isn't that thing of like, yeah, I think it's a little bit of like, what's the discourse of the day? But I think it's also like there's a certain section of, let's say Silicon Valley techno optimism, which is just like because I mean she's obviously very into like science fiction. AI. June is
mm.
her favorite book, etc., etc. And there's strands of that are very like social justice, Terry Pratchett kind of thing, and there are sides of it that are not at all. And like reading about this far right blogger, it's like he's invented this whole, what was it called? A philosophical movement known as the Dark Enlightenment or the neo-reactionary movement. Anti-democratic, anti-egalitarian, reactionary philosophical and political movement that wants to return to absolute monarchy. And you're like, what? Like, what? So, if she's hanging out with those kinds of people, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah, because like I listened to a documentary and I thought, okay, I might skip through this, but then I found it so interesting because she has some quite decent viewpoints, and a bit like David Icke, she then just drops like this like curveball. And I'm like, what? What's that? What was that? So she says, yeah, we're not going to be called Homo sapiens in the future. We're called Homo Techno, and that's going to happen soon. And then our consciousness will be either in heaven or hell, and we'll be won by AI. I'm like, what? Where's that? So she just comes out of this random crazy
Mm,
views. And then someone said because someone noticed that she's very similar to Elon Musk and how they treat media, and they
mhm,
enjoy trolling a lot a bit. And
mhm,
people say, is some of what she comes out with just her trolling? And they
mhm.
mention it being linked to her autism and
Yep, that's what I
ADHD.
was going to say as
And,
well. Yeah.
and and how she finds dealing with the media hard, so she does that to have power. So I don't know, we're never gonna know the real her. Like I think she came out saying that she's gonna have elf ears implanted.
I mean, hasn't she already had plastic
No,
surgery to?
yeah, she has passed it, but,
Yeah.
but she hasn't gone that far. But people think again, is that just her trolling on trying to get to? I don't know.
And again, look how much time we've dedicated to her
There you
views.
go.
And I've spoken like, oh, I think her music's really like interesting electronic.
But yeah, but okay, listen, music wise, yeah, I mean, I literally knew probably Oblivion and what's the other one from that same
Genesis.
album? And yeah, I literally knew those two songs. I've heard bits and pieces, but like when Grimes and became, when Grimes started dating Elon Musk, that's probably the first time I'd even heard of her for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, no, but did you hear Oblivion and Genesis when they around the time they
Yeah,
came
yeah.
out?
'Cause I remember that
Yeah,
blew up. I remember it being quite a
yeah.
big thing, and I remember the bit like seeing the video of her,
See,
because
yeah,
it's a weird
that's it.
video.
It's a
It's
very. I mean, we'll get to it because it's
yeah,
on the
yeah.
playlist.
But yeah, so I've never like, most of these songs on the playlist. I'd not heard before my life.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I wasn't sure. I prefer not to know how much you know to like not be guided
Mm.
too much on how to make the playlist. So yeah, actually with both playlists for both artists, it's like I wanted as many songs as possible from different albums and different times. And then newer songs as well. Yeah, so shall we get into it?
Go for it.
Overrated.
So I've started with Reality, the demo version, not the version that ended up on I think Art Angels. I chose it because I think this was my gateway grime song. I actually don't really remember Oblivion and Genesis at the time. Like I think again, t it was 2012, right? So that was just before I moved to Brussels. Like I was kind of in between jobs, in flux. I wasn't discovering much new music around then. But this song and the music video, which is really nice, I think, really was my gateway. I think it's really catchy, ethereal melancholy songs. Like I've put sounds timeless despite being fully electronic and having sounds representing modern things because yeah, it's let's say like layers and layers and layers of different synths and some of them are more traditional synths, but some you hear like
Mm.
traffic sounds or computer sounds. And I heard someone say that like Grimes is both like futuristic and nostalgic, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly the kind of thing that she can evoke. The yearning lyrics as well. The way it starts with when we were young, we used to sit so close to it, and you were scared and you were so beautiful, something like that. And it's like, I don't know, it always hits me. And yeah, the Atlantic described it as part robo stomp march and part whooshing synth symphony. Do you agree, Fran?
But which version do you prefer?
This the demo version for sure. So the story is that this was a fan favorite, but
Hmm.
she lost the original Ableton file, so it was never mixed or mastered. So the version from the video was taken from an MP3 file that she tried to doctor into what she thought was a listenable state. And I much prefer the demo version to the album version.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, again, it's ethereal, but she does mention that she's a big fan of Enya in interviews.
Yes, one of her influences. Yeah.
So, yeah, and I put, it's like dance music for elevators in a good way. it's
Yeah, not
kind
in
of,
the music way, hopefully. Like,
yeah, but like it's like it's dance music, but you couldn't actually properly dance to it. If that makes sense. The
yeah,
beat's
well, you
not.
can like she does in the
Yeah,
video, but
yeah, but it's the
yeah.
beat's not really strong, and like it's got XX vibes. I don't know who. I guess XX to a boy from her some ways similar.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, the cutesy vocals can
Oh,
be a little bit, but she can go in and out of it, can't she?
mhm.
And I noticed that she's got her own AI app called Elf Tech, where you can record a song and it make you sound like Grimes. Are you aware of
Yes,
this?
yes, I am aware of this. We will cut. Well, there's definitely a song which is about AI, so we will. I will definitely give my thoughts and opinions on
But yeah,
what she
yeah,
did.
no, this is actually found this quite pleasant. But going in, I thought, oh, is it all going to be like
Mm.
Oblivion?
But you
But
know
no.
me, right? So it's like Barbara wouldn't just put ethereal, woozy stuff, hopefully. But the next one is Oblivion.
Yep, yep, yep.
So I think, like I said, I discovered Oblivion probably after Reality. And yeah, I think both Oblivion and Genesis, like it wasn't immediate for me. I think because of the very girlish vocals. But watching the music video again, it's really great. It's Grimes looking, very kooky in very masculine settings, like,
Mm.
an Indy 500 in like a locker room with topless guys and stuff like that. And it's quite interesting when you find out what the song themes are because it's about her being assaulted. Um, and she said, it made me crazy for a few years. I got really paranoid walking around at night and started feeling really unsafe. The song is more about empowering myself physically among a masculine power and the hate of feeling powerless. I took a typically violent cultural situation and made it pop and happy. It's not a million miles away from reality. You've got the ethereal vocals, like the confident synths. There's maybe a few less layers. But I love how it progresses and how the endings, sound so menacing as well. And yeah, this is the album where she shut herself away in her house, took speed, and like didn't sleep for 2 weeks. So there we go. That's what it produced.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that, and they're not too sure about that sort of thing. That's people,
Oh, that
cause
it might be like a myth.
well, she keeps saying that she didn't sleep for 9 days, and her son said you'd be dead if you did
Mm,
that. Oh yeah, and also it's interesting. She kind of says that she's not a musician, but when I saw her doing the song at Glastonbury, and she's
mhm.
playing like the instruments, she's playing the
Yeah.
keyboard completely. Because people ever said, oh yes, you just did it on GarageBand, a bit like I guess
Mm,
Adam Buxton picking and choosing sounds,
mhm.
but she can perform it. So.
No, again, go and watch the KXP performance as
Hmm.
well. I really recommend it.
But yeah, I guess it's the landmark synth pop track, and it's got that nice pulsating arpeggio. It's synth bass line, crisp drum machine beats, the high registry vocals. Yeah, I enjoyed the contrast between the lyrics and the song.
Yeah.
Um, it does maybe go on for a bit too long. It could maybe be cut back. It feels like, is there going to be anything more?
Mhm.
Oh, okay, but yeah, but again, I'm not a big fan of the cutesy yeah section behind it. But yeah, yeah, I always liked the idea of this of this when it came out. I thought, oh, that sounds all right, but it never like struck me as like, oh, that's like a banging new single sort of thing. So yeah, yeah, I enjoy it, but I wasn't like blown away. I mean, but this got like massive praise from like Pitchfork, wasn't it like their number one song of the 2010s or something?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you watch the music video?
Yes.
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes with Grimes, when you watch the music video, you get the music a bit more than with other artists. But yeah, yeah, I think it's really enjoyable. I like it when the person pulls the hood over her head as well, because it's clearly like just randomly filmed with random people. Like there's a guy topless, arm around her, like
Yeah, no, because like, but yeah, Vance she wouldn't be popular at all, so no one knew who she was, I assume. But
yeah,
yeah, I think she calls herself a visual artist as well, so I'm sure she's quite involved in the music videos.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah. No, so the music videos are often she's directing, and all her
Mm.
brother is directing and co-directing Mac Busha. Yeah.
Speaking of her past, do you also know that she also built a houseboat and
Yes, I do.
went to
Yes, and tried to sail down the Mississippi, and they had chickens, but then they had to throw them.
yeah,
But this is the thing. I'm like, yeah, there's too much law. There's too much law. We don't have time. But no, yeah, but it's a good point to bring up.
from that to an AI elf super queen, it's kind of a big jump, isn't it? Really?
Exactly. But yeah, speaking of her past, so I wanted to pick a song from her first album because I actually never listened to it. So I picked like the most popular song on it. There isn't a music video, but yeah, there's the video for this song on YouTube posted 15 years ago has her MySpace link. Oh, MySpace, etc. Um, I think it's a fairly simple song, maybe even slightly out of time in parts, but you can see the direction that Grimes is going to head in, and I don't think it's a bad song. And it was really interesting to read about the album because it's a concept album based on June
Mm.
and Lynch's adaptation. I'm very surprised that they didn't get her to do the soundtrack, but maybe she was already a bit of a toxic person. And she didn't expect it to be successful. Um, and she says that like actually choosing the album title and all the different track names, which I think a lot of them are related, says that that decision has kind of haunted me, and she feels that the album is naive. But yeah, I think it gives you a good idea of like, how she got her start and yeah, how she evolved.
Yeah, this was a little bit too basic for me, and I think
Mm,
even I could play the bass line. To be
mhm.
fair, it is it's quite it is rather simple. Yeah, her outer worldly isn't part of it. I like her later stuff. It does kind of feel like, oh, this is like I said, an artist like Bjork, and I think that's definitely missing from this. There's no like soaring chorus. It's just quite
It's simple.
hypnotic, simple. But yes,
I don't I don't think it's bad, right? Like you would imagine with a lot of artists when you listen to their first album, you'd be like, but it's basic,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I didn't hate it, but going back, it's probably maybe the worst
okay.
song on the playlist
Okay,
for me.
good.
But obviously,
Good.
yeah, it's. But also, I'm not a big fan of Dune. But obviously, that has no.
The film's the
It's,
song.
yeah, I don't know. I've seen all versions of it, and I've never. I think it is just too dry. No joke regarding the desert. But yeah, and to hear that I'm making a third one, so there you go.
Well, yeah, I've seen like I'm not the biggest sci-fi person, and I saw the first two films, and what I thought throughout it, especially not having read the book, I'm like every single part of the story is predictable. Like you can see exactly everything that's going to happen, which is what happens, I think, with a lot of sci-fi and superhero movies for me, unfortunately, where it's like, what are the stakes here? Because you can tell that like of course he's going to win, and of course like the in the second one the only thing that was there was like a twist at the end which I won't ruin, but there was a twist involving Florence Pugh, which was a twist, and I was like, oh, everything else I'm like, yep, standard.
What? You knew there's going to be giant worms, did you?
Yeah, oh yeah, I knew, I could tell, I knew that spice wasn't really spice. Yeah.
All right, over to
Over
violence
to
then. The
the
club
club mix
mix.
because there's the other mixes I can't remember now what it is, but yeah, I think I slightly prefer this one. So yeah, this is from her 2020 album Misanthropocene, and so by the time this album came around, I was like, okay, I'm now ready and looking forward to it. Despite Grimes dating Elon Musk, right? Let's again, he wasn't as cartoony villainish. He was a dick, but not as cartoonishly villainish. So I was looking forward to it, and I think this album would it be my favorite album? It's a bit difficult with Grimes because again, she's not someone who like I will sit down and listen to a full album. Like I'll dip in and out, but maybe if pushed, I would say it's my favorite one of hers. I think this song is fantastic. The accompanying music video where she's dancing in, I don't know, like a Greek temple or some kind of futuristic Greek
Hmm.
temple or something is amazing. And she's dancing in it, and lots of people were commenting like, "Oh, she's such a great dancer. She should dance some more." And I didn't realize again until watching a video that she used to do ballet, but stopped doing it because, according to her, she was picked on because she enjoyed listening to System of a Down and smoking weed. It's got some ethereal vocals, but she does a bit more speak singing. And I do like it when there's, lots of different Grimeses. I think that always helps kind of tone down the etherealness as well. And the keyboard line is really, really, really good. And yeah, so this is a song that's meant to be sung from the perspective of the earth and personifies the relationship between humans and climate change as an abusive one. So the climate stuff is still there. But yeah, what did you think?
Regarding the lyrics, I find it really hard to decipher her actual words he's
Oh yeah,
singing.
I don't think you're alone.
Yeah. Interesting that she worked with, is it I underscore O? I don't
Yep.
know how you're supposed to
Yeah.
pronounce
IO.
that. I O. And they've worked with Lights. Do you know Lights? It's
Have you mentioned lights before?
it's a
Maybe, yep.
well, maybe, but it's she's a Canadian electronics pop star, but maybe it's similar to Grimes.
Hmm.
Might be worth checking out
Okay.
if you like this, because she's her music is similar to this
Hang
darker.
on. Yes, I think I know her others. Yes.
It's got quite a
Yeah.
striking look as well. She always changes it. Each album it's just a whole brand new look each
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw supporting Arkells in the Brighton club, and I kept thinking, "You're bigger than this." I bet you're thinking, "Oh, what am I doing in Canada? I'll be playing arenas." Um, but yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed this. I know I preferred the remix as well. It's got more polished vocals than previously. I love the steady synth. Love the beefy percussion.
Yeah.
I like the more focused hypnotic groove on the club version.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so
I mean, the other version's good as well, but it's just this one is better. Yeah.
But so apart from me not being able to understand the single words you're saying, I really enjoyed
No,
it.
good.
So
I hope so. And I hope, but it's okay if you don't. I hope you enjoyed the next pick as well.
hmm
Kill V Maim. I think this is tied with me with Reality as my favorite grime song. I became obsessed with the song, like absolutely obsessed with the song, to the point where I once remember having like a 30-minute walk back to my dad's house in Luxembourg and only listening to this song on repeat over and over again.
Hey.
And I was like, why do I like this song so much? Well, it has a bit more guitar, which, so far it's the first one on the playlist. I just really love the differences between the verse where she's so calm and cool, singing in a lower tone, even if there's little screamed hints that something is coming, and it just doesn't let up like that first half of the chorus. Hey, like it just hits you, and for me, it leaves you wanting more. And for me, Behave Arrestus is my this shit is bananas Bananas. And I don't know if you've looked up what it's about, but she literally, I'm directly quoting her in Q magazine. Kill V Mame is written from the perspective of Al Pacino in The Godfather Part 2, except he's a vampire who can switch gender and travel through space. Of course,
Of course.
yeah.
Yep. Do you know why it's called Grimes?
Because she heard about the genre, I think on from MySpace or something like that, and liked the name, so adopted it.
Yeah, but she said she put her music taste. You could put three genres, so she put grime, and that's where Grimes came from. But
Oh,
grime isn't grime the UK
yeah,
rap genre?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
random. Okay,
yeah,
fair
yeah.
enough. Right. So yeah, so Kill V Mate. Yeah, yeah, industrial pop anthem. Yeah, I enjoyed the distorted bass guitar riff, the frantic drumming, the chameleon vocal, the shift between cheerleader like chants to the
Hmm.
BAVA, which also we have with Chaperone.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I admired the change of style, and I loved the middle eight. It's a great change, and I think yeah, it was a fantastic song and a nice fucked up music video
Yes.
with lots of cars and guns and all sorts of
Did you
things
get
happening.
any reference? I got the zero, and I'm like, this is probably about like anime and other things and comic books
I
that I
mean,
don't know
it's
about.
I mean, it's not. There's no Godfather or vampires in that music video.
Well, no, no,
I'll tell
she's
you
got the teeth.
that.
She's the vampire. She's got the vampire teeth, but that's it. And there's this bit where she's like a little angel with vampire teeth wearing a Versace t-shirt, but that's she's the vampire. She's Al Pacino. There we go.
I know it's on YouTube. Someone said I'm shaking my head to this.
Shaking your head.
No, I think in a bad way.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, not a fan
Not
of
a
this.
fan.
But I guess if you were in listening to Oblivion, this is quite a change, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, this is much more. I put Oblivion because I'm like, again, it's a big one. We have to. I like Oblivion, but this is much. This one and Violence are much more on my street precisely because they're not just like la 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 twinkly ethereal.
Mm. I mean, I've not heard the album. So does that era, Art Angels, sounded more like that
Yeah,
album?
so
Or
the other big song, which I didn't put on here, I was tempted to, is Venus Fly, which she did with Janelle Monáe, and that is really
yes.
catchy. Really, really catchy. Really good percussion. That's a dud, 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 dud. And Janelle Monáe's vocals work pretty well with her. So if you like this, then I definitely recommend checking out Venus Fly.
Okay. Shall do.
Over underrated.
But we are going away from any album, I think, because the next song is Go, featuring Blood Diamonds. And yes, I only learnt today that it was originally written for Rihanna, who declined. So Grimes and this guy, Blood Diamonds, wrote themselves. So I picked this song as something a bit different and more clearly dubstep, which I think works quite well alongside the usual Grimes. So for me, it's like a very natural genre to put in. From the kind of more traditional grime stuff to like this like these two drops. And I really like the extended instrumental ending as well. But I didn't realize so many people hated on this at the time. When you see the YouTube
Mm.
comments, like it's either like old comments, a lot of them are old comments not liking this, or people are being like, why did people hate on this so much? I don't understand. And yeah, someone wrote like, God, Gripes could be mainstream, but chooses to stay underground. Well, yeah, maybe not. And yeah, I'd not seen the music video to this before. Grimes has like an interesting plait hairdo, and she's in the desert wearing sliders. And apparently it's about escaping into people or art, even if it's painful, rather than escaping into drugs or alcohol and being numb.
Yeah, again, like this is what 2014. So
Mm.
was this the first music she did after what's the album
Visions.
called from Visions?
I guess I don't know enough about her discography, but like, yeah, it was a shift, right? So I mean, she'd been such an indie darling up until that
Mm.
point, right?
But yeah, I mean, yeah. trap pop is what they describe it as. It's got a festival bass drops, soaring chorus. I like a vocal delivery a lot more in this track. Yeah, it's got some great synth lines. I was surprised that people hated it, but I guess if you went in wanting one style and then you got to EDM, oh, I hate the fucking phrase
Yeah, me
EDM.
too.
Um,
EDM, I don't have good connotations. Yeah.
Also, yeah, she comes. Americans and I guess North Americans. For me, when I say techno, that is a very different type of music to I think North Americans describe. I think they describe electronic music a lot as
Hmm.
techno as a catch-all,
The Dutch would
rather than
not be
like the
happy with
quite
that.
intense. And I, but yeah, they've not heard
Yeah.
Gabba. See, I mean, but I enjoyed it. I mean, can I imagine a Rihanna version of this? Not
I mean,
really.
like you think about we found love in a hopeless place is not a million miles away from go, I would say. Next song, we've already talked about it a lot. It's Genesis because I wanted to include another big song from Visions, and I would actually argue that I think this is the most accessible Grimes song. I think the that bassline synth is so simple but so haunting. It almost has like an offbeat, and I think the vocals are so heartfelt, and the piano line in the chorus so lush. Again, I think Pitchfork for once describes it better than me, or like they describe it well. It says it rides a chunky, abrasive beat with an equally thick-set synth bass line, but this one's all about the layering, drenched in reverb. Boucher's distinctive squeaks and childlike cooing jump from an Annie Lennox-esque lower register to her more familiar fairy tale cadence
Hmm.
to match the colorful decoration around her. Piano loops, synths twinkle, all as different Bouchers fade in and out. Yeah, I think that's quite a good description. But again, I think a bit like with Oblivion, it wasn't because it was a bit ethereal and like ooh, it took me a while.
Yeah, I think the critics gushed over it more than I
Hmm.
did. Again, yeah, it's got that prominent repetitive keyboard loop and a driving dance beat, dreamy reverb drenched vocals, layers of Simpson harmonies. I like the
Yeah,
piano
piano's great.
runs, but again, I think it needs something I could change at one point just to snap something to snap into life because it just goes along, along, along. I think that didn't she? I think she said that with this track that this was just her doing like a live play
Oh, was it?
around.
I didn't know that.
And then people liked it, so she then recorded it. But she didn't want to record it. She's just to play with a loop and just do some sort of like vocal
It's almost
sounds.
like a comedian, right? It's like let's play some random stuff in front of an audience and then see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, this has obviously a very, very striking music video with Brooke Candy. That was the first time I'd certainly heard of Brooke Candy, whose music I now quite enjoy, and I think I've mentioned.
Ah.
And apparently, yeah, she said it's loosely based on this painting by my favorite painter, Hieronymus Bosch. Do you know him? It's the guy who does like the crazy hell, like it's like very old paint. I don't know what century he's from, but it's like an image of hell, and there's like naked people and like a
Oh
dragon.
yeah, 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 yeah,
And he
yeah,
said,
yeah.
and she said, and I didn't know about this. The chronically online girl mentioned it as well. So she was raised Catholic. She said, I was raised Catholic in a Catholic household and went to a Catholic school. My childhood brain perceived medieval Catholicism as an action movie. There's this crazy omnipresent guy who can destroy you at any moment. So I think it's her trying to mix the two. And yeah, I think it's her and some colorful friends having fun in the desert. And you know what? Why not?
Yeah, she mentions her Catholic guilt a few times in like some podcasts
Yeah.
and such, but then claimed she said that she's now a massive atheist, but she does enjoy the Bible
Yeah.
stories, which is why she still references them in
Yeah,
her
I think
songs.
like as a culturally Catholic
Mm.
atheist, I can relate as well. So the next one, well, yeah, if you didn't like Ethereal, then I don't think you're gonna like the next one, Dream Fortress from Halfaxa, her album Before Visions. So again, I think I've only gone through this album once. I didn't really know the song. I just again picked what the most kind of popular song was from the album. It's really interesting, I think, how her vocals are actually almost operatic here. It's not that, what's happening in Visions. And
Mm.
it starts with violins and a beat. And I was like, oh yeah, like strings aren't featuring so much. And again, it seems like, you're like, okay, a more operatic version of Grimes. But then it gets really, I've put like the violin or viola get really evil and they're screaming. But don't worry, the synths and drums and ethereality eventually comes back. So I definitely enjoy this less than other songs on the playlist. I prefer Rocky Arabia Grimes, but this was the direction that I hadn't seen her go in. And I don't know if you saw the music video, but as everyone was commenting, it's basically like Midsummer.
Yeah, this is where I get the space
Space,
Enya
Anya, yeah,
vibes
definitely.
from
Definitely.
that sort of sounds. Yeah, it's not one of my favorite. I mean, some people are describing it as witch
Hmm.
house, which is a term
I
I've
have heard
never
before,
heard
but yeah,
before.
wouldn't classify it.
One critic described her vocals as excruciating
Oh,
nails
come
against
on,
a
there's worse.
chalkboard screeching. And apparently on Reddit, people either think it's the best song she's ever done or that
That's
they
interesting.
absolutely hate it. I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle. It's atmospheric. I'm sure it would go well with some beautiful visuals and then maybe for my music video. Music video is fine, but yeah, I think this was just if I was just doing a playlist, I probably would have just
I
forgotten this
do,
quite
before we move to
fast.
the next one, I have to tell you this quote from the music video director, which, because there's snakes, which there's a lot of snakes and a lot of
Mm.
swords in Ramses music videos, but in this one there's a ferret. And the director said the ferret, so he was saying how like the snake was amazing, like loads of takes. He said, but the ferret behaved like a scandalous movie star. He tried to escape, bite everyone he could reach, and scatter his food as far as it was possible. No ferret in my next video, no way. Which I love as like I'm like, oh my God, I wish I was in a band so I can name a song, No Ferret in my next video, no way. I think that's awesome. Then I take you back to Ravia Grimes from the album I like, Miss Anthropocene at 4 a.m. Another one of my favorites, mostly because of the way it builds. It starts, there's rain sounds, ooh, but then, holy crap, you're in the rave. It's not those water sounds are not a million miles away from Dream Fortress, but I just absolutely love how the chorus comes in and it builds beats on beats on beats. Is it dubstep? Is it something else? Her vocals, it's almost like you're in a trance, like she's singing 4 a.m. in one tone, and that combined, I think, with the
Mm.
really, like it really kind of gets me. Is this kind of like alternative brat in the club? And then I love how, yeah, to me, it really feels like a night out because at the end, the rain sounds come back to complete it and you have the calm down. Like you've done your dancing, you've done your raving, and now it is done.
Yeah, and this is from Cyberpunk 2077, yeah, which is a game that I played
Okay.
for a day and got rid of it. Famously, they released it too soon, and it had like
Bugs.
massive crashing, and like people were like walking through walls and stuff, and it bombed
Right.
massively.
Okay.
I think they removed it. But now it's like no, that's fine. But that's regardless. But yeah, musically, yeah, I enjoyed like I guess the Indian influenced vocal styles maybe. That
Hmm.
90s style drum and bass.
Yeah, maybe
I
more
like
drum
the
and bass and
clash of
dubstep. You're right.
styles. It's a unique mix. But before it's cinematic, frantic, and intense. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Is it Greek that AE
Well,
symbol?
I know it in like Danish and Swedish.
Is it?
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the letter she used in to name her son, right? He's like XA
Mm.
12 to the power of 3. I don't know, whatever it is. But yeah, but I know that like that is a letter. It isn't like an A and an E, like it is its own letter and a unique way combined. But yeah, pretty sure in Danish. But like, yeah, let us know what languages it's in. Uh,
I wish. Hopefully, she has another son and calls him Clive. Just like just to
God.
change
But she, yeah,
it.
I saw her saying that like her name is Claire, right? And she's like, it's been the biggest bane of my
Yeah.
existence. And like, I think when I've seen her sign stuff, she'll sign like as C rather than Claire. But yeah, but what did you like this song, or were you kind of like, oh,
Yeah. No, yeah. Daniels. I mean, yeah. I actually, yeah, say that nothing on the playlist I didn't like. I think the track two Rosa is probably my least
mm,
favorite of
good?
the
Because
10.
this really was a mix of like these are my favorite grime songs, and like these are some that to flesh out her discography or like to show the different sides. And I finished with one of her latest songs. I think there's been another one since, but when I
Mm.
made the playlist, Artificial Angels was the latest single. And yeah, I mean, I kind of like tapped out of Grimes a little bit, I have to say, since the continuation of Elon Musk madness and her like getting really into AI and all this kind of stuff. And but I was like, okay, I should put on a modern song. And then when I saw that this was like so as I started listening to it, and it starts with this kind of AI voice, and about it being written from the perspective of AI, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, because I have many strong opinions about AI, and they are not all very positive. Um, but once she comes in, over some much harsher beats than usual, I thought, okay. Then you have this kind of very poppy pre-chorus that I was like, I'm not really feeling it. But the chorus is very catchy, and by the third listen, I have to say I was pretty much on board with the song, and that inhalation, exhale, annihilation, like it's really whoa. And I
Mm.
really like the lyrics as well. If this is what it feels like to be hunted by something smarter than you. And yeah, it is interesting reading her views on AI because, yeah, like you said, she has her app and like she's given her voice to an AI toy as well. I'm just like, oh Jesus Christ, this feels like end of world stuff. But she says that she doesn't really think you should use it very much in music, and the music video isn't really AI generated. So I'm like, this is like how interesting, Grimes, that in the thing that you create and make money from, you don't think it's good for many other things that other people, like maybe writers and something make money from your voice artists or whatever. You're into it. So I was like, okay, it wasn't as techno optimist and like gushing of AI as I thought it was going to be. It's like, it's much more existential. And unfortunately, like I said, given that who the person who she is, and I kind of don't really want to like her, it's very catchy good chorus, I thought.
Yes, I think she said in a podcast that she was kind of like getting bored of
Hmm.
art and music before this year, and with this year she's come out on the other side thinking actually music is probably one of the most important things. And like when you go back through history, people remember the arts rather.
Duh.
Well,
How can she, as such an interesting musician, say that? I don't know what's going
but
on with her.
but you're right because she says that AI will be great because it means that everyone can make music and everyone can make films. But then she also says, but also it does mean that there's now a million people doing it.
Yeah.
And
And yeah, AI slop is so like that's I think one of the terms of this year, right?
because of the AI slop, more people are going to go back to doing proper music because it's going to
Yeah,
put people
I think
off.
so too. And I've heard someone saying that like teenagers use AI as something that, as in like that looks a bit AI, as in that's a negative thing.
Yeah, and we're all seeing the posters now. Every like community centre I see now has an AI picture outside. And it's like, no, of course, they think, "Wow, look what we can do!" And
Mm,
obviously, people are already thinking we know that's AI, and it looks
it
too
looks
AI.
awful.
You know,
Yeah, I really hope there's a backlash because yeah, my opinion on it, like I feel that this is what I say of like it's like with I don't know GMO technology or something where it's like I don't think AI in itself is inherently bad, but I don't think we should all have access to it like we do. And there are so many environmental and ethical considerations, and the amount of like sustainability people I know who use it, where I'm like, what the fuck, guys? Like again, the environmental implications, but just I think what frustrates me was like people who use it like Google, and it's like it is not accurate.
what is really weird is I don't know why I went down this thought path, but about a week ago, I just thought, what year? If we cut off technology, like this is the most advanced we can ever be.
Mhm.
And I chose 2006.
As your peak technology
Yeah, and I
year.
thought, yeah, we can't advance from this. This is it now. And I thought, and my
Mhm.
reason was it's just before the smartphone came out, so you can have a BlackBerry, but that's really only email. So then there's no Spotify. People weren't doing social media. If you had to do it on a website. And I was going through all things, thinking, okay, I can have the Xbox 360. That's fine. That's good. And I gave all myself reasons to stick to
That's
2006.
interesting.
But the only thing, obviously, I would be like, I guess, like medical technology. You know, if they had a cure for something in 2008. But like, I then thought,
Well, now
yeah.
they can cure HIV, right?
I know,
So,
it preps, so yeah, but
yeah.
that's work out. But I'm thinking, yeah, I think
For your own
my
selfish
own self. I
purposes.
thought
Yeah,
2006. I'd be happy. I'd be happy with I can have my iPod still. That's not.
true,
I can text people. I can
true,
email,
true.
and I think would I? I think I'd be happy with not all that instant social media would be gone. Spotify would have gone. I'd be buying CDs. There'd be Blockbuster. There'd be cinemas would be booming. All that would be booming. Selfishly, I think 2006. I'd be happy to stay. And so when I listen to Choir, I thought, how different could this be from my current thoughts?
Uh, I think for me, I like you're making me think. I think
Hmm.
for me, it might be 2015.
Ah, so you can cut.
Yes, because I do want Spotify. But I guess this is, well, having seen the playlist, maybe Spotify was always evil, but like it's the beginning of it where it's like I would still be buying more records.
Hmm.
I like a smartphone. I like a map. I travel a lot. Like to be able to have Google Maps. Like
Well, you
moving
can
to
have a Tom
London.
Tom if
Yeah,
2006.
but yeah, take it out. Take it out with me. It's like okay, that I guess it was the beginning of Instagram, but it wasn't as kind of like everywhere, and then kind of gameable, or then everyone's getting their hands on it. So yeah, I think that's the perfect. Like yeah, I would still prefer iPod. I think
Hmm.
like you, but like, I still quite like social media, but it wasn't as toxic
Well,
as it is
2006,
now.
you can have MySpace still.
Can I might, but yeah, I have to say I was never very much on
Uh,
MySpace. I think because I was so obsessed with Facebook.
uh.
Um, because I was at uni, like I was in my first year of uni when we got it. So
So, guys, write in to what what year of
yeah, what
technology do
year?
you want to stop? Yes, yeah. So I did enjoy the song, and I was surprised that I was not aware of this until we put it on the playlist because I've been looking for songs all year, so it's really odd.
That's the the state of play, isn't it?
Yeah,
That
but
like,
also, I mean, she mentions in the podcast she's friends with Daniel Ek, of course.
of
So
course. Oh my God.
Sorry, Spotify would have put her to the top of the thing. And said that Daniel Ek says Spotify is fine because 20 years ago, only 20,000 people were making money for CDs, and now there's 1 million people making some money. That's very
Yeah, I saw. Who did I see today? It was literally today. Someone said, four people bought my records uh, today or this week,
mm.
and that is as much money as I would make from 20,000 Spotify streams or something like that. Or more money than I would make from Spotify 20,000 Spotify streams. It's like,
So yeah, so I was surprised that I hadn't come across this. But yeah, and it's a bit everywhere. And there's some bits I like, some bits I find annoying. But yeah, it's kind of like a the same vein as Kill versus Maim as well. And maybe
yep.
is that maybe an industrial pop. Um, yeah, it's got a decent chorus. The Excel Annihilation is catchy. I put this could almost be a Man and Manson track if we went down a more dance because
Marilyn Manson's gonna come up again.
well, Man and Manson randomly played in Bournemouth on Halloween.
Oh God. Oh, well, yeah, that
He,
is
he
spooky.
got cancelled in like three cities in the UK, and Bournemouth was one of the ones who they tried to stop him, but he did play. And then do you know who played for next night?
Okay, hang on.
Could not
Chris
be
Brown?
no, but could be the opposite of Man and Manson. A band that you love dearly.
Is that hash like
No,
forward slash sarcasm or no?
no. True,
No,
true.
a band I love dearly.
I thought you were going to go see them in the UK at one point.
Oh God, who could it be? I don't know. There's too much choice, Fran. Oh, I am going to see them in the
I
UK.
hear five,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I'm
yeah.
seeing them in Glasgow.
So
Yeah,
five played the next day after Man and
incredible. Okay,
Manson.
well, yeah, I know of the two. Which one I like?
They cover Place Your Hands. I hope they play that for you in Glasgow.
No, you're kidding me.
Daft Punk, Place Your Hands, and another track is the
Daft
encore.
Punk.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I cannot. I can like.
They play like 18 songs. This is a lot more than I thought they had.
Oh my.
And
Like
I knew four, to be fair.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding me, Fran? Like, well, yeah, I will have seen them by the time we record the best of, so you'll get my gig review then. Cannot wait. But away from five, back to crimes.
So yeah, the video's bonkers. I mean,
Yes, the video is bonkers.
do you look at Twitch at all? That world.
I did in lockdown, but I have to say since then, not really.
Yeah, that sort of like that look, the old
Yeah,
like the manga anime like
yeah,
ears and bright pinks and that. Yeah, it is.
yeah. And I think someone said there was a comment which is like, well, Grimes has updated from swords to sniper guns in the video as well.
But yeah, it's interesting that what direction she's going to go now because obviously her and Elon have had a massive falling out. So
Mm.
obviously she's
And her mum, we didn't even mention that, her mum getting involved on Twitter.
Mm.
The fact that like, oh God, again, there's so much. Again, other people have talked about this with more research than we have, but yeah, it's messy.
I wonder will she go around the other way? Will she go back to being the previous self? But
I
who
mean, if she's
knows?
hanging out with her far right bloggers, I don't think so.
Well,
Yeah,
who knows
let's
who
see.
knows what happens to Grime in the future. But I'm happy she's still making music because that's quite a decent track, and I will check out the album if I see it anywhere. Because
Yes, I think kind of like holding my nose as well. She's the I'm going to say the white Azalea Banks for me because I went to see Azalea Banks this year. I think I told you right that when I told my dad the kind of things that Azalea Banks said, he's like, how can you go and do this? Like how I'm like, I know, but like, and what's weird about it is there's loads of like non-white people and LGBT people there.
I
Like
know, and
it's
there was
yeah,
and there's a part of me that got to I've not seen Man Manson because
yeah.
I know that he's a great performer, and
Yeah.
20 years ago I'd have loved to see Man Manson. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I saw Marilyn Manson in Reading in '06. Yeah. And from what I saw, it's pretty good. Let's go give money. Like, I don't own a single Grimes album. I think she would have been someone who, with artists where I listen to a lot of their stuff and I don't have an album, and eventually I'll get it right. I'll be like, right, come on.
mm,
You've streamed it so much. But now with her, I'm like, I think I'll carry on streaming. But is she overrated? I really struggle with this one because I was like, well, she is definitely I think underrated in her music because as you say, like what people talk about mostly is not her music, it's other things. And I think she has some really interesting and inventive stuff. Again, I don't like all of her music, so it's like, well, then surely an artist who's so big, how much does she have? Is it like 7.4 million?
Yeah, I'm just looking down. It's like she's got, yeah, that's ridiculous compared to her.
So I'm gonna say let's balance it all out and say that she's rated. For me, I don't think she's overrated because she has too many interesting songs for me to call her overrated.
It's hard for me to say she's overrated because like I had heard two songs.
Mm.
I wonder if she's just massive in other countries. I wonder if it's a UK thing. I don't know. Like, do you hear her on the radio in Belgium? I never hear
No.
her ever. So I wonder if she's just
I mean,
massive.
radio. She's not a radio, but she is pure internet for me.
Have you
Like,
checked out what cities she's big in? Like, is it all North America? Is that where she's massive?
so the top five city, the top one is actually London. So London,
Okay.
Mexico City, LA, Chicago, New York City. But London is the top one.
Wow. But yeah, so not overrated because I just she's never in my universe to be fair. And to,
Hmm.
to be fair, I enjoyed the playlist.
Hmm.
I like the she has sorts of different styles, and like I saw her perform at Glastonbury, so she can perform. So she ticks
Hmm.
a lot of boxes. Yeah, obviously her views are interesting, but but as I said before, there's a lot of acts that if I scratch the surface, so like in a way I'm happy, but I've got no idea what Depeche Mode vote or what
Hmm.
the moles are. I don't know what I don't know, and I'm kind of happy.
Yeah, yeah. For me, I struggle. For me, I do struggle if there's something like, especially far right, like because there's a difference between like you're a conservative and okay, like like I have one or two friends like that where it's like we are so diametrically opposed on like I don't know how we should deal with climate change or like how taxation should work, but it's like they're fundamentally still a decent like we might agree on these things, but it's a decent person. But when it's the far right, like when she's going to the wedding of someone who thinks that slavery was a good thing, like that, I'm sorry, and going to a party to celebrate Donald Trump, that is like you are participating in a system that's going towards fascism. And I just find it very, very difficult. I think one thing that does make I do think if people aren't violent, that makes it a bit easier for me. With Azalea Banks, like she has all these horrendous opinions, but she, as far as I know, she's never been violent, and she has, her career has suffered. Like she's someone else who, she's more better known for her opinions than her music. So yeah, but I mean, it's a bit of a cop out, right? Because it's like, yeah, she's hanging out with people who are kind of promoting these things, but I think, yeah, I can listen to the Grimes. I will hold my nose, but yeah, I'm not like I didn't know about the whole far right thing until I was researching her, and I was like, oh damn it, like kind of again, yeah, in a way, wish I hadn't known that. But now that I do, yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear what her friends back in the day think of
Well, I think a lot of her friends fell out with her when
the
she
day.
started dating Elon Musk, is what I saw that people were like, what are you doing? So
Well,
yeah, there we go.
there you go. Sometimes it's best to not scratch the surface. That's what, well, that's per me. That's what
And sometimes it's complex when you scratch the surface,
yeah.
and those are our two diverging
Yeah, when
things.
all my 90s artists, the fallout's tough.
That's the end of part one.
Do you like music? Do you like podcasts? Chances are you like music podcasts. Take this one for example, Pick a Disc, where every fortnight a guest comes on to talk about an album for whatever reason they want to. Sometimes I like it, sometimes perhaps even something else other than just like it. You just listen to the podcast and find out. We talk about the album, we talk about the songs, we talk about the artists, we talk about tangent things that are slightly related, and sometimes we deviate off tangents. But don't worry, we always bring it back in the end. But you can find us on all your social medias and all the podcast apps for searching for Pick a Disc. You can also find us on the part of the Weedig Podcast Network under Linktree/Weedig Podcasts. And until then, happy listening to all those discs that you are picking. Goodbye.
Underrated.
Moving on to our next artist.
Indeed, underrated Peaches. So again, I imagine you know about her
Hmm.
just a little bit, but I didn't know how much. From my side, I feel like she was a bit more catapulted into the mainstream when Fuck the Pain Away was included in Lost in Translation, and that was 2003. I feel like I knew about her probably not long before then. I don't know exactly when I found out about her, 2002, but I fell in love with her immediately because she was a woman talking quite frankly and quite funnily about sex with puns and pop culture references and most importantly, catchy hooks, both
Hmm.
like electronic and rock. And yeah, I started reading about the origins of Electroclash, and I almost got lost in a Wikipedia hole. And I was like, "No, Barbara, focus, focus." But Electroclash, whatever it is very much my kind of thing because it's somewhere between rock and electro, and I like it. And I think, yeah, up until that point, I'd never really heard a female artist, female musician talk about stuff like that. I think there was like Little Kim in the US, so I think she would name as an influence, but she wasn't as main. I only knew her as the woman from the Moulin Rouge song. I didn't know about her other sexy stuff. Um, and yeah, I was absolutely devastated to find out that after Set It Off from the first album became a top 40 hit, she did a Top of the Pops performance, but her performance was deemed too racy to be aired. And I'm like, I would love to see Peaches on Top of the Pops. I would love to see
I
the
saw it
audience.
in a documentary today.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, so I need to watch that documentary. I'm looking forward to it because yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I have seen her live twice. I saw her at Coco in London, probably around 2010, where she did some amazing. Like my main memory of that, she did an amazing stuff with lights. I don't know if she was like controlling, the lights were musical notes and she was controlling them, but it's as if she was playing these different lights that were kind of out. It was really, really fun. And I saw her in 2022 in Brussels, where I got really angry with an audience member because I was about like I don't know, I was 10 rows back or something, and I was, doing my jumping up and down, and this woman tapped me on the back being like, you're jumping up and down too much. And I literally was like, if you feel that, go to the back. And I was like, how can you come to how dare you, woman? How dare you come to a Peaches gig and tell me I can't move up and down? Are you high? And what was really funny is I was there with my friend Eva, who didn't know much about Peaches. She was just kind of came along and I think had a great time. We then made friends with an extremely drunk couple from Mechelen who were way more disruptive than the rest of us was. But yeah, it was an absolute laugh. But yeah, why my picture is underrated? Because I think if people know Peaches songs, the one they know is Fuck the Pain Away, which is one of her first songs. I think she has a lot more to offer. And she only has just over 500,000 monthly
I was
listeners on
surprised, really
Spotify.
surprised at that.
Yeah, so was I. I'm wondering, like, in the, she's now going to release a new album next year, her first in like 11 years, and tour again. And I think in the age of TikTok, maybe I think her popularity is boosted. That's all I can hope for. But yeah, what do you feel about the Teachers of Peaches?
Yes, I agree. I think having a 10-year break maybe that's affected the playlist. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I saw her I think the same time as you. So I saw her
Mm-hmm.
at Lovebox Festival 2010,
Mm-hmm.
and it was probably not the best time slot because she came on about 4 p.m. in the blazing sun.
Wow.
But did she have a broken leg? You saw her.
No, I don't think she
So
did.
she came in with a cast on a wheelchair the entire show.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay, no, she
there's
definitely
still a
wasn't.
part of me thinking, is this performance like I don't know. And yeah, and I think in the video for Rob,
Mm-hmm.
one of the transgender guys came on,
Mm-hmm.
fully naked with penis out and
Yeah.
boobs. I think it's probably the first time I've ever seen that. And
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah, yeah.
so it's 4 p.m. in the blazing day. And, there was dildos, there was lots of naked people around. Thinking, okay,
This is
this
different.
is different compared to Play with Face previous show. And I loved it. Do you know what? And I loved it, and I can't remember a single song. So when he did the
Mm-hmm.
plays, I thought, oh, maybe they'll come flooding back. And I think you didn't include Set Off as a single, but yeah, I recognise that
Mm-hmm.
when I saw
Set it up, set it up,
when
set
I
it up.
saw the Top of the Pot performance on this documentary. I don't know because it has I've gone blank. He's the garbage lead singer.
Shirley
Shirley Manson,
Manson.
yes, Shirley Manson. She's a fan of Peaches, and she's a big fan of Fuck the Penguin. And she said that she saw her on Todd Pops, and she felt, oh, if she did this now, people would love
Mm-hmm.
it. But in 2002,
It
when
was too racy.
when you're dancing in front of 16, 17-year-olds going, what the fuck is this? Being told to clap, and you got someone shoving a microphone down her pants by herself dancing on the stage, they might
I
be
think,
confused
do you know
slightly,
what,
but there you
Fran? I
go.
think the teenagers of this year and yesterday need a bit of that,
I
Like
know, I know.
Peaches is good sex
But yeah,
education.
but Shirley agrees. She thinks she
Yeah.
thinks that now she put on TikTok, people love it. So let's see what
Hmm.
what she
Let's see.
does. But yeah, so I obviously I knew Fuck the Pain and I knew a couple of tracks. The song I loved, you didn't put on here, was the one of Iggy Pop. Is it called
Uh,
Kick
do
Off?
do you? No.
It's one that's
Oh
it's got
God.
that sort of brilliant videos of the zombies attacking them.
I am really bad with Peaches because Peaches, it's almost the opposite of Grimes, where she's someone like I'll put an album on and then like not really pay attention to what the songs are called or anything. Well, oh yeah, so there's Rock Show
Maybe
with
watch
Iggy
it.
Pop.
Maybe yeah.
Rock Show, you came
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do a
yeah.
cock
It's
show.
got a cool. Yeah, so I enjoy. I really enjoyed that track when it came out. But yeah, I've not heard anything for the past
It was
15
it
years.
was really really difficult to put this playlist together because again, I'm like I don't know how much you know. I kind of want to put the big song, but like I feel like every album has like two or three big songs, and I can't choose them all. So which ones do I choose? etc., etc. So yeah, I'm gonna say again, it's a mix of kind of big songs and songs of hers that I like. But this one more than Grimes, maybe it's more like introducing you to Peaches rather than like these are all my faves.
Okay.
But I had to start with Fuck the Pain Away. And what's crazy about it that I only heard, I think, from Peaches talking on a podcast is this song was recorded live the first time she ever played it, which is why you can hear the whooping in the background after like midway through the first verse. Yeah, it's what can I say? It's simple, it's catchy. Has there been a better pun than Chrissy behind? I don't think so.
So I had no idea that she'd been doing music for such a long time before this came out.
Yeah, yeah, she was in a folk band.
Yeah, and also and bands with Chili Gonzalez. Yeah, she was a teacher in the mid
Yes,
90s.
wild.
I love to know what the kids think of that, and I must be loving
Yeah.
it. So yeah, like you said, this was the first track I heard back in the Napster days. It reminded me a little bit of Closer at the time. Was another song I think about with talking about fucking.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's raw, minimal, got a fuzzy bass gurgle and that clicky rolling TR-99 drum machine, which he even shows you how she works it on the documentary. Still plays it now. When she first joined the band, she looked down at keyboards because it wasn't rock enough. And then when she started using an analog keyboard, she then realised that you can do some sick stuff with it. So she,
So there we go.
and
It's
there we go.
Australia.
And sucking on my titties like you wanted me. I don't think I could sing along to that. Maybe I think you can.
It's fine. I think
I,
it's well. I like there isn't a music video for this, but there is a video which is like a montage of her playing it live, and in it she's asking, she's like, she's like, who likes karaoke here? I'm gonna make everyone sing along to the songs, and men and women and everyone in between is singing along. Like she does not discriminate on who sings along to the song. So I think, Fran, I think Peaches would be happy for you to talk about sucking on her tits. It's all good.
yeah. I heard it live today, which was recorded on the 2022 tour when she did this album in full, and it's her in Berlin performing it, and she's 56 when she did that, and she still walks across the crowd and stays live, and I was like, yeah, go. She's fucking
Oh yeah.
she's still as intense now as she was when I saw her 15 years ago.
I've just had another memory. Like I can't remember in which gig it was. Was it the Brussels one? Maybe not. Where she inflates a giant penis, puts it over the crowd, and walks in it. That's something else that she did.
Yeah, unfortunately there was no penis.
Okay, so maybe it was in Brussels, which was really like literally because the crowd have to kind of hold her up.
That's cool.
She's like, oh yeah, hang on, maybe I've seen her 3 times actually, because I think that was in Brussels in Botanique. So maybe I've seen her 3 times because that's why I couldn't remember
And
it.
maybe
There we
next
go.
year it'll be 4 times.
Yeah, maybe she comes to Europe. I think she's mostly announced North America, but yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't work out in the documentary if she still lives in Berlin though, because she still
Yeah,
references it a lot.
I guess she does.
Okay.
I don't know. So the next pick I picked from her second album, Fatherfucker, where she's got a lovely big beard on the cover. I, to be honest, would have included "Tent in Your Pants" as maybe my favorite one. Do you know that song?
Sing it for me, please.
That tent's so big in your pants, baby. I'm gonna bring my friends for a dance, baby.
No, I don't recognize it from church.
I mean, it's the funniest song. It's the funniest song, and I found out only to say that it's co-written by Greg Kurstin, who I would not.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I went for Operate because it is the biggest song and it's included in Mean Girls. And again, in the video to this, like all there is like Mean Girls references. And I also didn't realize that after Taylor Swift released Look What You Made Me Do, people made the comparison with this song, which, as much as I'm not a Swiftie, especially after the last album, I disagree. I don't think it really sounds like Operate. I don't know what you think, but
it's a very simple beat. If they're saying
Exactly.
if they're saying the beats now, I was like, well, come on, the beats can't be that different from one another. So yeah, I get it, but I wouldn't afford it. To be fair.
yeah, not for plagiarism anyway. But yeah, I also included this because I think this is this shows the level up in production sophistication. I think it's very catchy. I think it should be a bigger pop song than it is. I just really love how the guitars and the spooky synth line in the chorus and pre-chorus work together. And yeah, I didn't realize also that this album, like the previous one, was entirely produced by Peaches. So there we go, another self-produced female artist, which is good stuff. I will also say that I discovered on Tidal because Tidal's not so great for playlists, but I think it's now starting as more people move over. But I went to an indie night out last week, which I forgot to mention, which was great fun. I was out till we stayed till the end, which was 4 a.m. It's been a very long time since I've done something like that. apart from Ibiza, of course. And to get in the mood, I put on an indie Halloween playlist, and I think this would fit in it perfectly.
I also
Spooky,
did
spooky.
a Halloween alternative playlist I can share with you if you like to.
Oh yeah, share, and then I can collaborate.
I hope you had a Duran Duran song. Oh, indeed, I can't have Duran Duran. Okay, so yes, I remember the album cover more than any of the music.
Interesting. There we go. She's good on branding as well,
Also,
Peaches.
because it came out at the same time as Electric Six Gay Bar, so it's got a similar Abraham Lincoln. That was a big 2003 bid.
Yeah,
Um,
time for bids.
so yeah, it's kind of it's similar sort of to the previous, but maybe the step forward. It's that classic electro class. I like the quiet singing verses compared to the heavy beat in the chorus and the frantic. I like the aggressive minimalism. I would like to have a bit more maybe from it. It does go around. Obviously, that is my only problem with Peach as an artist is that she does like to have the repetitive loops and it's sort of like this is also where I'm not the biggest hip hop fan of, so I'm more into the melodic flows. So that's my only problem sometimes that she sticks to like a quite a simple beat and it's her, singing over that, which I'm not the biggest fan of. But so sometimes I prefer to have something more over it. But yeah,
Well, I think the next pick is a bit different in that respect, right?
yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. So my next pick is Boys Wanna Be Her from Impeach My Bush, 2006. I picked this because it was more rock. And I think it's another like very, very, for me, mainstream song, despite, the obviously the usual Peaches theme. So it's about, I really like it because I heard her talking about how like, yeah, men only usually admire and want to be other men, women are more sexual objects, but no, this is like the boys want to be her as well. Love the guitar lick. I think it works even though it's less synthy. She's still rapping. And I really like how many versions of Peaches there are. She's panting, she's saying ooh. And I really, really love as it builds at the end and the scatter going in and out works really well. And I learnt today that the She Bop that she references is a Cyndi Lauper song, which is also about female masturbation. So there we go.
So yes, I knew this also because I watched Boys and it's featured in The Boys, the um Amazon TV show
Ah, okay. I was like the Charlie XCX.
about evil superheroes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the garage rock Peaches, which is probably where I like the one of Vicky Pop. So maybe is that from the same album? Maybe was that from a Peach Bush? Maybe.
I want to say it's from that one, but I don't know, and I'm gonna check now. Again, yeah, I'm really bad with Peaches with
But yeah, I like the Joan Jett style guitar riff, the pounded drums, her steaming vocals, confident chanting. But yeah, it's just a cracking track. I also put down I'd love to hear the Hives do a cover of this track.
Mm. Oh yeah. I would
Mm.
have seen a duet on that as well.
Well, they have duetted with Cyndi Lauper if you want to bring it round. But okay.
Oh my God, you're right. Dun, dun, dun. Uh, Hang on. Sorry. So I think Rock Show is a song from her first album, but there's a version of it with Iggy Pop. So it's not the one you're thinking of. Oh, I say I'm a fan, and then I get these things. The Peaches fans are going to be on my back. We will get to it. The only thing I'll say that's a kind of surprise. So firstly, what I found quite funny was that she opened for Marilyn Manson at one point. She was the opening act. And yeah, she also like opened for Queens of the Stone Age, and Josh Homme has definitely like played guitar on one of her songs, and they're a bit more controversial. And interestingly, early sessions of the album were recorded with Jesse Hughes from Eagles of Death Metal, who seems like a right unfeminist, unfunny priest. So I was like, interesting that she's such like a feminist gay
Yeah, I
icon.
mean,
But
Man and Matson fan base, would they have liked Peaches?
I think Marilyn Manson, he's very. I mean, it's all camp, isn't it? Like, I think if you're dressing up, what does RuPaul say? Like, everything is drag, isn't it? Like, once you're making a choice. But I mean, she's quite aggressive, right? So I think, yeah, I do wonder. I do wonder. But yeah, that really surprised me because with Josh Homme, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's maybe a bit less obvious. But with Jesse Hughes, like everything I've heard about him, I'm like, he seems like a right prick. But there we go.
Okay, so speaking of pricks, moving on to I Feel Cream.
So yeah, this album I thought was not only a bit of a sonic departure for Peaches. When I was like really looking at the album track listing and choosing what to pick, I was like, actually, every song sounds quite different. Like, I think you can argue that in the Teachers of Peaches, the songs, are of a similar style, apart from maybe Lover Tits, which is more groovy, I would say. But I picked for this one because while the themes, the shy boy that you need to coax, And the fact that she's rapping a very peaches. She sings, well, first, it's much more pure electro with hints of techno. And she sings really beautifully, I think, in the first bit. And I think, we haven't mentioned too much about how catchy Peach's lyrics are. Like she has a way with words, and I think it very often it just melts so well with the beats. And this one, the what she repeats at the end: "Let's get suspect, let's get wrecked. Every little defect gets respect. Must protect what you expect. Quicker on the reflex, hit the deck." Lovely, like that is a lovely turn of phrase. She can really, and yeah, there's another one coming up where it's like, yeah, she can really rhyme to the fullest potential. And yeah, I found out only today that Simian Mobile Disco, co-writers and co-producers of this, as well as the song "Lose You," which is maybe a bit more twinkly and ethereal than this one. But yeah, I chose this because I really like it, and I think this is a bit different to what we've seen so far.
Do you remember the rest of the album? Because so this would have been the tour that we both saw in 2010, I guess. Would have been this era. So yeah, I really like this. It's got more of a hands in the air house disco track.
Disco, yeah, also
Yeah, she
definitely.
sings higher than usual, like more of a coo. I put it down. This is probably the closest to Grimes if we're discussing the two bands.
Yeah, I agree.
Was it her most commercial sound?
Well, I think no, on this
No.
one. So "Talk to Me." I don't know if you remember that. "Why don't you talk to me?" That one's much more poppy. And "Mummy Complex" has a dirty, dirty beat. "Hush now, baby, don't you stress. I'm gonna cure your mummy complex." So really, like I was saying, more than any other album, like every song sounds different. She has another song called "Mud," which I guess is more in like the operate, vibe of like really spooky again from the side of like grimy, almost much more. It's like she's singing. I don't think she raps at all in that. She's singing the whole time. Yeah, like I really think like yeah, it might be if you have to check out. I mean, I'm guessing have you listened to Peaches albums like maybe or not really? Have you
No,
checked
I
them
don't
out?
think I've really ever explored. I will
I
now.
think
I will
this might be
now.
the one to start with if I were you, just because like it is the most like there's still what's the name of the song "Take You On" is the last song, and that could be a song from the first or second album. "Take You On," it literally she goes like, "I'll take you on, I'll take you on, I'll take you on, I'll take you on." That's the chorus, like with like a little beat in the back.
For documentary, you may get more out of it from me because I was trying to, as opposed to do a shortcut of finding out her whole history in an hour and a half.
Yeah,
But it's not. It's basically it goes deep into how she became Peaches, the 2002 Peaches, because obviously this was the 20th anniversary is where they're going to.
yeah,
But it
yeah.
doesn't talk about each album. It doesn't mention her success,
Oh,
her
shame.
lows. So basically, it's how she got to the 2002 album, and then her now, and then like just ignores the last 20 years. But and obviously, it's interesting to hear. A lot of it is her talking to her bands and how she creates music now and what's in the future and everything. But yeah, I had no idea that she got such a hard time, even back in the day, for being slightly old.
Jewish,
Slightly,
right?
no, but her age.
Oh,
But I had
oh,
I
really?
had no idea that she was in her late 30s when she got big. I was I assumed she's younger, but yeah. So apparently, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, leave it, Grandma," when she's on stage,
Wow.
and when
Well, fuck you all.
and she comes on with a walking stick and like slippers,
Yeah.
and with I was born in 1966 like jumper. And then to get,
My God, she was born in 1966. She's only 5 years younger than my dad. That's
I know, and
crazy.
yeah, because yeah, I had no idea if she's that old, but that's the thing, what it doesn't matter because
It doesn't matter, yeah.
she can do the same as someone who's 20 years younger than her. So
I mean, yeah, I saw her, like I said, in the last time was in 2022. And yeah, it like she has the energy, she has the vibes. The best outfit there was that she had a multi-boobed outfit. So it's like she had a bikini. Yeah.
and then she had one of like hair wrapped around it as well, like she,
Yeah, yeah.
yep.
But yeah, I mentioned her being Jewish because she is Jewish, and what I didn't realize until researching it was that she was actually kind of bullied for it when she was a teenager in Canada, which is really shocking to me to hear that that's still happening. But there we go.
Yeah, I
That's the
think
world we live in.
she mentioned this year how it's hard being in. No, she must have lived in Germany because she mentioned how it's hard to be in Germany at that moment and being
Yeah,
Jewish because people can't separate.
Islam and
Yeah,
Judaism,
yeah.
which is what they're trying to make you do. But
Mm.
anyway, let's not get into that.
So close up.
Close up. So we've gone through the albums chronologically and we've arrived at her latest one, Rub from 2015. I chose this song because I wanted to bring in another queen of speak singing, Kim Gordon. It works really well. And also because I hope that you saw the hilarious music video where Kim Gordon is vaping throughout as
It's
her manager. And
an
I was
early
like,
vaping too, isn't it? 10 years ago. It was
I
yeah.
thought exactly the same thing. I was like, oh yeah, this is ahead of her time. But I also wanted, because I thought actually this isn't a sound that's a million miles away from early Peaches,
Mm.
but we're in 2015. It's like, for me, I'm like, she can still do songs like that and they're still catchy and good, but there is something a bit different. So yeah, that's also why I picked it. And yeah, some of the lyrics: don't follow that patronymic, sploogie Ugie, look at that spillage, scoop it up for the clinic, try to keep it in your lineage. And also, blended Tinder, finder, grinder, romance the phone. Romance the phone is good stuff.
Yeah, and she needs to update that every time she performs it now.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed the video. Um, Kim Gordon's line isn't the greatest. I think it sounds a bit like she's not really giving it much, just a bit like talking. But yeah, I enjoy Peach's seductive slur. I like the throbbing, pulsating electro rap. So the hook isn't enough for me. So I found that maybe Kim's doing maybe too throwaway cool delivery. Like she's like on purpose, she's not trying to give it much. I don't know that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if that
I
makes
think that would
sense.
have been the brief.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And maybe I want to be, maybe I wanted to have like a high red, I don't know, something shouted out maybe with that sort of line. But yeah, the music video is brilliant, and
It's great, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, I loved it. It's very rare you get a warning on YouTube for four things, and then this had a warning.
Oh, really? I don't think I got a warning. So you get a warning in the UK.
I mean, the other video you showed me later on would get
Yeah, yeah,
definitely
yeah,
more
yeah.
than a
That one.
warning.
That one, yeah, because I was like, oh, it's not on YouTube. And then I was like, oh, I remember why. Yeah, okay. But before there's, yeah, I think there's two more before we get there.
Mm.
So the next song, a bit of a curveball. It's a song called Hannah, which is from the soundtrack of a film that I hadn't heard of called Desire Will Set You Free, which is apparently about like the Berlin scene. Dev
Yeah,
Hynes is in this as well and has a song on the soundtrack too. So I actually didn't know this. I picked this song, and I didn't know this was a cabaret classic that Peaches was covering.
mm.
So I went to listen to 19th century born Claire Waldorf sing the original. It was very, very different. Um, but to be honest, I just enjoyed Peaches speaking German and, singing, rapping, whatever she's doing over one beat. And I thought it was really interesting. But what I found quite funny is I was just trying to find the lyrics and I couldn't. The internet just kept giving to me Peaches by Justin Bieber. And I'm like, this is not what I want.
It'd be lovely to hear people do this.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this wouldn't be on my karaoke list. I don't know. Obviously, it struggled a bit with this, but I guess I know what you put on for because it's very different.
Yeah.
It's got like a squeaky fart synth or like a muffled gun beat, which kind of put me off. So that with some very German pronunciations, it was.
The German's good, right? But occasionally she slips into English as well, which I'm like, an interesting choice. Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't love this, but reading about it, I think it's more behind the meaning than the song is why people like it. Is it like.
Yeah, I got from this website, it says it's talking about the film. The film is about a journey through Berlin's late night subcultures, and the track drips with that pathos. With a sexy electroclash sound and Peaches' deadpan delivery, the track will surely be a staple at your local S&M dungeon soon.
And unfortunately, guys, I don't go to enough S&M dungeons.
No, I mean either.
No.
Do you know? Yeah, I haven't been to Berlin in a while, so clearly I need to go and check it out if it's if it's in the clubs.
Over underrated.
So my next pick, I've gone back to the beginning. I've gone to Diddle My Skittle. I wanted to go because I presumed that kind of you'd know most of the songs up until this, not Hallelujah, obviously. So I was like, okay, let's go for some maybe lesser known songs. I went for this one because I love how like it starts with these kind of like crackly vinyl sounds
Hmm.
just playing raw, but then she turns it into beats. I think that's really original. And then it has this really aggressive synth. And the aggressive synth, the scratchy sounds, and then the drum beat that comes. I think it's like my favorite drums in Peaches' song. Like it makes it almost really groovy. And then Peaches comes in, and basically almost the whole lyrics of the song are, you think I'm little, wanna play me like a fiddle. I'm not so brittle, come diddle my skittle, 'cause there's only one peach with the hole in the middle. I mean, listen, I'd never seen the music video. She's playing with some silver balls and some picklangings. This is so up my street. I wonder if it's up yours.
So yeah, she's referring to the lifesaver, which has it's the flavor sweets with a hole in the middle, and
Ah,
she wanted
okay.
to link candy to sex. So we've got Diddle My Skittle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and obviously we've got Feist doing backing vocals,
Ah, is it? Because yeah, Vice is famously her roommate, but
although
yeah.
credited as Bitch Slap Lap for this album. It's not so weird because to me, Feist is kind of like a sweet sort of folky singer. I never,
So funny.
it's so far away from this, which is quite interesting.
So funny.
But yeah, they're remakes back in the day. um, but yeah, it's got a DIY punk electronica, simple repetitive bass lines. It's got like a dirty fax machine sound.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, with like a it's almost like a nursery rhyme melody in a way for me.
Yeah, the the
but it gets
sing-songy.
yeah, it gets stuck in your
Yeah.
head. So yes, I enjoyed it, and yeah, a nice dirty melody, a dirty nursery rhyme maybe.
Yeah, like kind of it doesn't surprise me that especially with both the artists that you've been like, because it's kind of very repetitive.
Mm,
But I think this one it is simple, but it's not so like, there's different layers that you can enjoy at different
hmm
times. I hoped anyway. The next song is Rub from the album Rub. So I picked this because once again, I feel like it's a return to the kind of simple music from her first album, but with slicker production. But I really wanted you to see this video. I wanted you to see this video of Peaches getting confused in the desert with all these sexy women. But yeah, I think my favorite bit of the video, which I hadn't seen in a while, I've forgotten, was when her face is literally getting smothered with boobs, and she's just like, oh, like she's really funny. Like people talk about the sex, but they don't talk enough about the humor. And again, there's some really catchy lyrics in here, like "Tell on my pussy, whistle blow my clit." I mean, beautiful, like beautiful. Tell on my pussy, whistle, like gorgeous stuff. And of course, the transpositive classic, "Can't talk right now. This chick's dick is in my mouth." And in the music video, there's a transgender woman with a penis, and Peaches is having a great time getting her face slapped with her dick. So there we go, guys. So yeah, I think it's that thing of like everyone's like, oh, this trans is new. Well, bitch, this song is 10 years old, and I'm sure Peaches are doing it much more before. So shut your face and enjoy yourself in the desert with your friends.
And that's the same person I saw 5 years before at the Love Box.
Ah, there we go. There we
So
go. Good for them.
yeah, it's like an oddly hypnotic track.
It
Um,
is, isn't it?
um, her vocals are again seductively slowing. I love the hilarious triple X catchy rhymes. Um, it's unsettling and seductive. Back to her debut with maybe some more experience in production and a better chorus. But I feel bad to my Mormon heritage listening to this.
Yes, the cheeks are becoming red, I imagine. But which cheeks? Ew.
Hey.
Ew. Well, let's go back to something. Well, it's called "Turn It On," but is it about
hmm
sex? I don't know. It's a Franz Ferdinand cover by Peaches, which is from the Franz Ferdinand covers EP, which also has Debbie Harry, LCD Sound System, and ESG. Um, I picked this just because I think this is a great Franz Ferdinand song, and I think she turns it into a great Peaches song. Like it's simple. The original song's a lot more layered, but even like firstly, I like the electro take on it, but actually towards the end, she keeps the falsetto in the original song and adds a cheeky guitar. I'm just like, oh, you've got a magic touch, Peaches. Like, yeah, as an example of like she's made a song her own, but still you can still enjoy the original elements of it. I thought it was very clever cover.
I like Franz Ferdinand, but I heard this and I was shocked when I heard the original because this
Really,
sounds like
you didn't know
this
it?
just sounds I don't know this just sounds like a pizza song. I was like I kept thinking, hang on, is this the cut? I kept having to double check. I even went to like credits to see who wrote it because it sounds and that's I guess what is a great cover is when it literally becomes your
Yeah,
song.
no.
So yeah, I then went round and listened to the original and I think I prefer the Peaches
Well,
one.
there
But
we go.
is that because I heard it
There we go.
first? You know,
I like both.
what
I like both equally, I think. But I did the original first, yeah. But like I'm really glad like basically what happened is kind of what I expected to happen that you would have been like, I cannot believe this isn't a Franz Ferdinand song. This must be a Peaches song, which is what I wanted. Brilliant.
yeah.
But yeah, I finished as with Grimes, with the Grimes playlist. I wanted to finish with like, she has a new song, and actually, kind of her releasing a new song was the catalyst for being like, actually, maybe let's talk about her as underrated. Um, So she has a new song called Not in Your Mouth, None of Your Business. And it seems that she's going to release an album next year called No Lube, So Rude, which is, again, very,
Hmm.
very funny and rhyming. Um, and yeah, I found this song really different, like way more in your face and very political. Like the only other political Peaches song that I know that you might not, it's quite a fun short one. There's the first song on Impeach My Bush, right? Because this was around the time of George Bush. It's
Hmm.
it's called Fuck or Kill, and the lyrics are, "I'd rather fuck who I want than kill who I am told you, sorry, than kill who I'm told to." And then it's like, let's face it, we just want tush. If I'm wrong, impeach my Bush. And then it goes, impeach my Bush, impeach Bush, impeach Bush. So that's the most political that she's been. Whereas this song is very political. The lyrics are, I cannot be squashed or minimized. You will never take away our pride. Orders won't make us lie down and die. We will stop you fucking up our lives. And she is screaming throughout the song, pretty
Hmm.
much. And I thought it was a very different. I thought there were like hints of Byla funk, of like it could be an MIA song more than a Peaches song, maybe. So I can't say that I'm a huge fan of this direction, but at the same time, I'm just so shocked that this is the direction that she's gone, that maybe I need a few more listens. But I'm wondering, like, will this be the equivalent of Fuck Kill, of like the opening song for the album, and then it's going to be a bit different. But yeah, of course I can understand the sentiment, but yeah, musically I'm just like, oh, okay, different left turn here.
She introduced MIA to the Road and drum machine apparently back in the day.
Good for her.
Um, so yeah, it's interesting, yeah, that both Grimes and Peaches have a song out, and I had completely unaware of, of both these happening. Yeah, the video is, I mean, you couldn't eat dinner to it.
Oh, I actually haven't seen the video. I didn't know there was a video. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's the camera's on the floor looking up at her,
Mhm.
and you know that scene in the Substance when he eats those prawns.
Oh dear.
It's basically
Okay,
that with a lobster, and it's dripping on her face. It's horrible.
okay.
I get a nick from what seemed like this mucky eating. I can see it. No, I see some like some dicks, and I can have someone like in that wrestling scene when she's wiping the shit over her mouth.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
can deal with that, but lobster, why is that getting me grossed out? But yeah, this is like a very high energy, abrasive, aggressive track. But I guess she's that angry, and it shows. Yeah. I kept trying to look for more to like, does she mention? We assume it's Trump, obviously, but obviously she's Canadian, so I was like, okay, it's just against.
Fascists in general. Yeah.
Yeah. That's trying to work out, but yeah. So I will check out the album.
Yeah, yeah, I'm very curious. Like, of course, I always check out her albums.
I'm sure the Bloodhound Gang are jealous of that album title.
Yeah, it's very blood. So yeah, as I said, I think she has more types of music than you think she would, and that she's known
Mm.
for. And she definitely deserves more listeners, and that's why I picked her as underrated.
Do you know what? When I was because you never actually mentioned which one you put forward for as underrated.
Oh, did I not?
And so when you
Ah,
both mentioned it, because I know more pizza songs, I thought, is pizza the overrated one? When I looked at the Spotify figures, I thought, oh, it has to be Grimes is over it. So
mhm.
that's interesting to bring.
Oh,
But
that's very
I
interesting. Yeah.
assumed pizzas would have been the bigger artist. I was shocked to find out that Sheeran has 500,000.
Mm.
Yeah, and I was also I was very found it very interesting to hear about her musical past and how she kept changing before she discovered her own sound, and how she's very anti electronic, and that's what she
That's what
does,
she
you know.
does. I mean, I could have. She's collaborated with so many people. Like she did a song with Christina Aguilera, for example, that I could have put
Mm.
in that kind of roboty album that she did.
She mentions her. So she had one big video
Hmm.
for Set It Off, when she's growing all her underarm and yeah, and in that they were allowed to have two women kissing,
Hmm.
and she said, "Oh, why can't I have two men kissing?" So that it won't be shown. And then a month later, Christina Aguilera had "Beautiful" and two men kissing it. It's like, what? I could have been there first. How dare they?
I didn't realize that Christina Aguilera set the tone for that. But I do remember being like, I actually do remember watching the video and being like, oh, how nice to have gay people represented. But didn't
Mm.
realize at the time that it was so groundbreaking. There we go.
There you go, Christina. But I wonder, because she is more of at that point, it's more of a clean cut pop. They thought they could get away with it more. I don't know
I mean,
how
yeah,
they see these
I
things.
don't know. But yeah, thinking of Peaches as like aligning with Clean, like it literally, I've still got Lover Tits going around in my head because I did really want to pick that one, but because it is on her first album, it is quite a different sound to the rest of the stuff on her first album. Um, and yeah, I don't imagine Christina Aguilera singing Lover Tits. That's all.
So yes, I like the garage rock
Mhm.
Peaches and the dancey 2009.
Then yeah,
Peaches.
I would then start with 2009, start going backwards until you don't want to anymore, and then check out Rub. That's my opinion.
Have you ever discovered her first album from the 90s?
I have not listened. I didn't even because when they were
No.
like her sick album, I was like sick, and I was like, oh sorry, Fancy Pants Hoodlum, of course. Like no, I haven't. I'm not. Yeah, I'd say yeah, I am a big Peaches fan, but I'm not a completist. I do
Mm.
own, I think, three or four of her albums. I don't have. I'm not with my CDs at the moment, so I couldn't confirm. So yeah, she's definitely someone who, like I said, like I will check it out. But like I said, the Iggy Pop song, I'm like, it's still not come to me which song that is, and I'm gonna kick myself. And actually, yeah, even with the Grimes Misanthropocene album as well, I was like, God, I really listened to that album all of 2020, but I haven't gone too much beyond the songs that I like. So I feel this is the curse of the modern world, right? Of like, because you don't listen to albums as much as you do, like
Mm.
things are slightly more forgettable. You forget the other songs that you don't like so much, but it's they might not be as good, but they're still good. So yeah, I think I tried to do a playlist that was, as diverse as could be within Peaches, and yeah, check out her work and check out her like she's a really fun live act. She's a very very fun live act to sing, and she really gets quite a
How
compliment.
much does she use Instagram at all? Do you know?
She does because that's how I found out about the new song and the new album.
Okay,
I
okay.
follow her.
I wonder, does she do like reels and
I think
stories?
she
Does she
started doing
engage?
reels. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So no, I think she deserves to be big. And I hope that like yeah, her releasing a new album leads to people kind of rediscovering her old stuff because yeah, I think a lot of it still sounds very, I think like yes, scrappy, but still kind of futuristic. Like it's not. I don't think it's aged badly.
I'm gonna bet you €1
€1.
that she performs at Glastonbury.
I hope so.
It
I
does
hope
seem
so.
a very Glastonbury
I
thing.
hope
She's
so.
not done it. I think so.
Okay, let's keep our fingers
There we go.
crossed.
There we go.
But so, do you think underrated or you're on the
Yeah,
fence?
yeah, no, yeah, I think underrated because to me she's like a massive name from that era. So I don't know. It's hard to. Have you checked out? Who else is there from the north of what Goldfrapp? Trying to think of people who are similar era, but
But Goldfrapp
Goldfrapp's
was always,
obviously
well,
not.
it was always a bit more,
Yeah,
931,000.
yeah. So yeah, she's not, and obviously she's probably more international.
But I mean, because she's so risque, I think I think people who are not a laugh or, men who don't like women singing about sex are going to be put off by her because that's what they think she thinks about. And it's like, there's so much more to than
But
that.
then, but would there be such a big career audience who would get behind her? Is that
She's definitely
obviously
an
not
LGBT
helpful?
icon, right? Like, and she's LGBT herself. And that can corner you, right? Like we've seen it many times where it's
Mm.
like, if you get put into that box.
So you think that Charlie XCX has that audience and could move forward to get a bigger
Yeah.
audience? I think but I think Peter struggles because he's too
Yeah, I mean, it's
in
so
your
in
face,
your
maybe
face,
too
right? Like,
sexual.
and I think, yeah, when it's, people don't think twice if it's 50. 50 Cent is such a casual, and I'm like, he has not been big for fucking age. Although it wouldn't surprise me that, he would have released an album. But it's like,
Mm.
yeah, you're 50 Cents or whoever. If they sing about sex, it's so like, that's a given. That's a given, that's something we'll talk about. But when Peaches does it, it's so in your face, but so funny, and I think a lot of people can't handle it, or like they dismiss it for it being too simplistic. Because "Fuck the Pain Away" is a simple song, right? And they're like, oh, that must be what she sounds like, and it's like, no, listen to something like "I Feel Cream." It's really not like or "Boys Want to Be Her." That's really why I wanted to put those two songs in
Mm.
there.
Mm.
No, but I think. Yeah, and maybe for the audience as a whole, especially if you don't really know Peaches, maybe start with "I Feel Cream" from 2009 because yeah, great album.
I shall check it out at a
I
later
hope you
date.
enjoy.
So thank you for giving me more knowledge on Grimes and Peaches and to give me an excuse to dive in deep because yeah, I don't know why I've never really listened to Grimes because I don't know.
Well, yeah,
And turns out she's a lot bigger than I thought she
so many
was.
like this is with the social. This is the confusing thing with the social media age. Like every now and again, when I don't know some musician that is tagged in a photo with a celebrity, and you click and they've got 8.4 million followers on Instagram. You're like, but who, how, what?
Any final thoughts?
Well, I'd say my thing is don't align yourself with the fascists. Very simple. be more Peaches, less Grimes in that respect.
Well, what happens if you've been a fan of them 20 years and suddenly,
Yeah.
surprise,
Well,
turns out
Rashid
they're
Murphy.
fascists?
I don't know if you've thought.
Oh, yeah,
So
I noticed that. But
disappointing.
luckily, I wasn't
I
even a
was
fan back
quite
in the
big.
really.
Even Jen Ives, who did this whole thing about her, she was just like, "This one's really difficult because like I do actually quite like music." So yeah, that's always the difficulty. So don't Get lost in your echo chambers, everyone. Like, touch grass, talk to other people, says to people who have only met twice in real life and talk over the internet, but still, we talk to other people, swear down. Fran, see you next time.
See you next time, guys. Bye-bye. And thanks for listening to our episode. It was a pleasure for me to check out some more tracks by Grimes and Peaches. I always enjoy having to do a deep dive into artists I don't really know. And I will have liked a lot of new songs. If you don't follow us, then please, of course, follow our podcast on social media and subscribe. Tell your friends. If you are on social media, you can find us on Instagram at @overunderatedmusicpod and on Blue Sky at OUmusicpod. And you can also give us an email at overunderatedmusicpod@gmail.com. See you next time, guys.